Okay, so I'm going to dip down. I don't know if you can see me. This is my first attempt at throwing a plate. I've used 3 pounds of clay and 1350 grams. I've followed Matthew Kelly's technique because I want to see if that was the easiest way to do it. I've seen lots of ways, but I did okay. So I'm going to carry on videoing and just talk you through what I'm doing. I'm quite nervous by it. I've bought bats that are big enough so they can just all come off. Got to be careful with this because this is the way he does it, and now you can see I've got to get the bat out from underneath there without moving that, and I'll sort of see whether I can work to this system. I've never done it before. So let me just grab something to take this off of the Now I'm using Hartley and Noble bats, and I'm not using, she says trying to get it off, I might do it this way. I'm using Hartley and Noble bats because I have their system, I can't think what you call it, where you, the Russian doll system. But for this I actually specifically bought the bats that are big enough, and as I said, I have a wet kit. I have no problems without having pegs in my thing, so I'm just going to fill this in, and I've got the bats exactly the same size, so I'm going to just push that on and then we'll see how we go. So I'm quite nervous because I think we all are when we sort of go for something new. My table, I'll put the camera where I usually have been sitting, so I'm just going to put my tools back and then I will talk you through what I'm doing. I'm just videoing out, so it's okay, you can come in. Do you want to see the first plate I made?
Oh, wonderful.
So I'm just talking everybody through the nervousness of trying to throw my first plate.
Wow, nice.
Okay, so right, there's my 3 pounds of clay.
You don't do back in?
Nothing yet. You carry on.
What's those?
Yes.
Dish out?
Yes, perfectly good. Thank you. If it's ready, that'd be nice. So, okay, so let's put this on here. Now I've had my wheel sat down and I've had my wheel standing up. And to be fair, centering is so much easier standing up. And I think that I would have to say that I probably would prefer to do this sort of thing with it standing up. Again, if I was doing it again, I've got blocks I bought. So let's just see how this goes. Probably not very well when I'm being videoed, to be fair. Now, I'll just repeat the sort of things that he said as much as I remember. He's very keen that you don't want to get sludge underneath your pot if you do this. Okay. He uses this part of his hand. I found that quite difficult because I wasn't really sure. You know, there's the learning. Can I just check that's centered? Okay. So I'm going to keep wiping the edges as he does. And I'm going to okay. So he uses this part of his. I haven't really mastered how he did it, and in fact I found it easier to work away from me. Let's see how that, he sort of did it with this part of his hand. I do have a habit of getting clay everywhere when I'm, and as I said, so it's very important to take this wet sludge away from underneath of where he's working. Oh, don't move that bit. take that sludge away, because it makes sense that you don't want to move things off centre. Wind it down a bit, see how far out I've come. I went out to, see, I don't remember, I wrote it down. Let me go. This at the moment is 11. What did I go out to? I have to get my camera and my notes are in the camera. Right, let's just try and see if we can. All excess off of here. And just check how by my pen thing. That's okay, I think ish. Maybe not, maybe too shallow, but the trimming side, I'll have a plate, you know, I'll suss out how deep I want my trimming side. Right, so I've got that to 11.5-ish and just above 11.5. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to just flatten this off a bit. Which, to be fair, he doesn't do, but we all agree that if we are, he's a production potter, which is why I like his videos. I did some really nice vases off the back of him showing different styles of vases. Okay, right, so we're going with that first. Now, I've got a bit of an issue because I have got this here and I found that that was a problem, but I used the same tool as he did, which he was using a wooden tool this way. I also have a plastic version of that. I'm going to go back in with this one here. His next thing is for me to bring this part of the plate up to that point. So he goes in. Let's see what happens. It goes in. Which is hard. I might have to take this guard off if I'm doing this, because it's meant that I'm not really I'll draw that up, and as you can see, I'm not far away from that. I was about 1 3/4 inches up on the side wall. So we have got a little bit more to do to get that. So I'm angling it slightly in. I could do this with my fingers, but we'll do it with this. So I'm now feeling that I am there with that. So let me just find my other sponge. Let's just give this a bit of a wipe out in here. That is a bit thicker on this wall. This here is thicker than what I had the last time. So that is now really touching that. I don't want to go up any more. As I said, this is thicker than I had before, but you know, that's fine. I can probably trim that away if I want it to be nicer side walls. So let's just get myself a little bit clean before I go to the next stage. Okay, hand towel. So, okay, the next thing is he pushes in with his his angle to clean up underneath, because he wants to get a little bit pushed in. So there you go, we've done that. And then I'm going to just wipe that off. Then he has everything wet on the inside and outside. I'll just make that a little bit thinner there. So it's even. Then he takes that tool. Now I did this with this one, but I'm going to do this one with the wood one. See how I get on. Because now everything's wet, he will push this down. I think it was easier with the wood. Okay, well, so if I take the ruler and we have, oh, touch the corner, have a check, that is, yeah, 11 3/4. It's exactly the same size as the other one. Exactly. Okay, so let me just neaten that up. And then if I get the, this seems very thick on the outside to me, but as we've said, we can trim that away. Just do a bit of that. And let me just do the inside of this again, just to really feel that I've done everything that I can do to make sure I haven't ruined the inside, because then come across with the cloth. Okay. I was asked before Christmas by a pub if I would consider doing dinner services and all this sort of stuff, and I thought, oh, no. But you know, maybe it's not too scary. Right, let's have another go. I'm going to take this off again to get this off without touching and damaging that bit. There we go. So I think this clay, I've not ever done a shrinkage thing with this clay. This is Scarva ES10, I think it's Scarva. Yeah, this is Scarva Earthstone ES10, extra smooth 10 actually, I suppose that stands for. I also bought myself some small kiln shells so that I could, when I obviously, you can apparently fire these, bisque fire them all standing on the upright, which is what I will try and do. That's why it seems to be the way. What was I going to say? Yeah, but then obviously when I'm firing them and glazing them, I don't want to just have two at a time. So I've bought some. They're in the kiln. I bought some small some small kiln shelves, 13-inch kiln shelves. And then I've bought some 2-inch stands so that I can do. I think I bought 3, so I can do 3 in that section plus any on the shelves at the same time. Okay, here we go then. Let's have another go. Has anybody, you see people, professional production pots, always doing a bit of water on this bit. Is that what everybody else does? Sometimes I get it to slip and it goes everywhere. I don't know whether I get a better bond without. Right, let's see where that takes me. What I find I've got to be very careful of, because what I find is that I get very sore wrists and hands if I don't respect the joints as I work. Try and remember to do as much with my body weight. Quite centered with this one, am I? Let's just slow myself down and think about what I'm doing. In fact, I've got an oscillation with it. Let's just turn it up a bit maybe. Okay. Now, if I was worried about that, I don't really want to lose too much clay, but I will. The thing I find as well is this oscillation that you can sometimes get from the bat. It can be enough of a, you know, mucks your head up a bit. Okay, and again, let's not forget to wipe the sludge out from underneath here. A little bit fast, I think. Okay. And let's use the other sponge to get anything we've got off the edge here. Keep it clean on the outside. Right, so we are going to go that measures. That's 12, so I definitely don't want to go any further than that. Maybe a bit too far. I was keen not to have a too thicker at the side there. Let me try and get this a bit more even as well. Seems alright. Bit of a dip there, not ideal. I've gone a bit too of a dip in that middle bit, but we'll. Okay, see where that ends up. And then, right, we've got that off there. Then we're using the wooden rib that he's shown us. We're taking it on the V point down the side. And we're going to push it in until it hits that. I think I've got it there, but I think I've just gone a little bit of an angle. Okay. So now let me just wipe out and I think I've worried too much about the inside of here. What's my sponge? There it is. But I am up to that pointer. Okay, so then what we have is we do a V, a cutout underneath there a little bit, he said. Yeah, use that end like that, get it like that. Yeah. Then we wet the inside and we wet the outside. I'm gonna just, and then we're going to use the bow. As you can see, I'm exactly where that is on here. Right, so let's bend this down. May have gone down too flat with that one, I don't know. Well done with others. No, I think I've gone straight out with them all. I think because I've played with the clay feels a little bit softer. So let's just see where we are on the width. Again, 11¾ So let's just tidy this up gently and get it off the do the I don't know where I've put my thingy. Let's grab another one. Got a few marks in there. quite a pronounced bit here. So let's have a look what to use. There we go. I think my camera has just moved. No, the camera hasn't moved, so that's fine. So I'll just wipe that down, and I will. Wow, okay, that's good. So what I'll do is I'm going to fast forward, I'm going to do the next lot on speeded up. And we'll see how we get on. I think I've got another 3 to make. Okay, with this one, it got a bit softer as I was doing it. I just don't want those side bits to be laying down too flat. So I'm just going to dry it a little bit and then pull that upwards a bit when it's not quite so wet. So, where's my sponge? Oh, there it is. So I can just bring those up just a touch with that system. That's better. And what do we end up with again? These are coming out very, very accurate using this little system here. It's very good. Right, just to show you how well that turned out, I actually managed to do 6 plates, and they are all really close to the same size, following Matthew Kelly's plate making production plate making video on YouTube. What I'll do is I'll put a link up so you can see how I've followed what he has said, and it worked very, very well. Just to sort of give you a heads up, I probably should do a video on this. I've been doing some more of the cookies using the system that Joe Thompson uses at Old Forge. And then just I've got a load of bowls made. They're all drying at the moment. Just give you some idea what I've been doing. That is following another guy. I need to put his name up as well. So yeah, you know, still taking some ideas from YouTube because it works. So thank you everybody for joining in. Hope you've enjoyed it. I just want to give you all an update at the end of this. I did have 6 plates. Unfortunately, I found trimming quite difficult because of the turn up, and obviously me wanting to do a 2 post. Let me see if I can turn this over. That's too much trouble. Wanting to do a 2 risen foot, and that became quite difficult because, like a lot of my things, I tried to trim everything probably too thin. I've done a pattern and went through. I thought actually this is quite nice. I might just see if I could make it into a piece for the wall. Just have it sat up there. I just love it. But yeah, it does mean that I've managed to get only 3, very sad, 3 plates out of the 6. So I've ended up with some more cookies. But you know, they were thick enough to use for trimming. But yeah, it was that ridge, that cutting. So there you go. That gives you a bit of an update. Though I managed to throw them, the next thing for me is to investigate the best way to trim them. Okay, cheers everybody.